In this video, we're going to take you to one of the most beautiful and underrated countries of the world, Guatemala. This was one of the most adventurous trips we've taken so far.
Guatemala is a southern neighbor of Mexico and its first language is Spanish. It has a somewhat tropical and a very desirable weather.
On this 4.5 days trip with two of our best friends, we were able to fit in a decent amount of the country's attractions. The capital city, the hobbit land Acatenango, hiking to an active and erupting volcano,
and visiting Lake Atitlan, which is known by many as the most beautiful lake in Latin America.
By watching this video, you can share our experience and get ideas for your own trip. If you enjoyed it, we'd love it if you could support our channel with a like and a comment. This is the Central Plaza in Guatemala City. We came here early in the morning straight from the airport. Here is the National Palace of Culture and Art, and right next to it is the Cathedral of Guatemala City. As you can see, the architecture here has a lot of European influence. This section of Guatemala City has the highest concentration of street merchants that I've ever seen anywhere in the world. There's also a lot of police cars in this side of town, and it gives you some sense of safety and security. We also got Nika's hat from one of these hand sellers, these street merchants. There's more of them here, all over the place. Hola. Alright, time to head back to the car. This church in Guatemala City is called Iglesia Urita. It's the most European structure in Guatemala City, and you can see how it's inspired by Barcelona and Gaudi architecture. You can see like the Gaudi style. This tower is called Torre del Reforma, meaning Tower of Reform. It commemorates a former president of Guatemala in 1935 who was a major reformist and did a lot of good for the people. So yeah, they built this tower in his memory. This is the Ministry of Defense in Guatemala City. Look how suitable the building is. It's like a fort all around it with a Guatemala flag waving at the top. This street is all fancy buildings, and like all the consulates are here. The consulate of the US, of Mexico, they're all in this beautiful street that you see here. And now we're getting to the main entrance of the Ministry of Defense.
This is the main gate of the Ministry of Defense. As you can see, there are beautiful symbols of warriors as well.
And there's a Guatemala flag waving at the top. We're en route from Guatemala City to Antigua. Look how Americanized some parts are. There's a Denny's here, a Walmart right behind it. Then there's a Michelin right over here. You don't feel like you're driving in Guatemala on this street. To get to Acatenango, you first have to get up this bumpy road with an extreme slope. But if you don't have a four-wheel drive, there's also park shuttles that'll take you up. We're now at Acatenango, meaning Hobbit land, close to Antigua. Did you know you don't actually have to go to New Zealand to experience the Hobbit homes? Here in Guatemala, you can just come and stay at one of these Hobbit homes. We're not going to stay in any because we only have 4 days here, but yeah, we came to take a look. There's a really cute restaurant that you can come have some food and some beer with this beautiful view. There's also a glamping spot here if you're interested in that. You can see these double beds in those tents. And beautiful place for photos.
Yeah.
We're now at the colorful city of Antigua. It's known for its colors, as well as its magnificent views of the volcanoes. This is Volcano Agua behind us. The two main volcanoes that you do the hikes and see the lava are Fuego and Acatenango, which you can also see from here, but you have to go to some rooftop bars to see. This is the Ark of Santa Catalina. It's one of the iconic locations in Antigua, so you can't possibly miss it. And here's one of the church ruins that there's a lot of them in Antigua, and we're gonna go and see one of them. This one looks good though. It has a lot of statues and stuff. So yeah, but we chose a different one to go and see. Church in Antigua is called Iglesia de la Merced. It dates back to 1767. That's when it was built. It's one of the iconic places in Antigua. There's also a lot of color surrounding it. The colorful city of Antigua has several church ruins that were ruined in an earthquake in the 1700s. Now you can come and see any of these ruins and kind of observe the European art in Guatemala in the ruin form. And that's one of Antigua's tourist attractions. Let's take a walk behind Nika and see the inside of these ruins. This place is called Cerro de la Cruz. It's the viewpoint of Antigua City. You can call it the rooftop of Antigua City. And you can see Agua Volcano from over here. It's a little bit covered in mist right now. This building behind me is Santiago Cathedral. It's located at the Central Park of Antigua. It's the busiest part of Antigua. And it's also called Plaza de Mayor, meaning the Plaza of the Mayor. And there's also a lot of other cute buildings around this plaza. Volcano Fuego just erupted right in front of us from this distance. A nice pre-game for tomorrow where we're going to hike to the top of Acatenango to see it from a much closer distance. We're on the second day of our trip. We just started the hike up Acatenango volcano and we're with this tour group. There's about 20 of us or 15 of us and we're all going up together. We just started the hike, so we're still pretty energetic. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling in 15 minutes. The first part of the hike is a farmland. So we have all this vegetation around us and it has 4 different stages. I'll show you a short video of each so you get a sense of what you can expect in this hike. It's actually much easier than we thought because we actually had the option of having some people carry our heavier backpacks up for us. So now you can see Nika without any backpacks and I'm carrying the lighter one. But yeah, there's porters, as they call them, carrying our backpacks up. Yeah, it only costs $25 to have the porters bring up your backpacks. Now we're at the second part of the hike, and this is called the Cloud Forest. So it's obvious why the name is the Cloud Forest. You can see some dogs hiking along with us. We're actually at the head of our group right now. This is our leader over here, Tyler. And here's Mika.
This is not as bad as I thought.
Transitioning out of the cloud forest now and getting to the alpine section. This is where we stopped for lunch. They gave us some sandwiches to bring up with us, and we're a little bit over halfway through, and now we have a little bit of a rest and a chance to eat our lunch.
When they don't have these, that they are like hunters. And these
What do they eat? What do they hunt?
They eat like tourists leftovers. So don't leave your sandwich just on the table.
Oh, tourist leftovers.
Yeah.
Oh, he was serious. All right, here we are. We're at the campground. We made it. Unbelievable. So we just gained over 5,000 feet in elevation. And now the tents are here. We left a lot of our stuff at the campground back there. And now we're doing the next activity, the optional activity.
How all of layers?
We're going to the Fuego volcano.
5 layers.
So she's carrying 5 layers. Yeah, so this one's going to be extreme, but we'll get a little bit closer to the lava by getting to where it actually erupts from, but of course nowhere near the actual lava. This Acatenango to Fuego hike is all slippery dirt paths all the way down, and yeah, it's much more difficult than the hike getting up to the campground. We expected the opposite. We thought, well, yeah, when we get to the campground, we've already achieved the majority of the hard stuff, but now this is much harder. After that crazy slope downwards, now we have to do a similar elevation gain going upwards to get to where we're going to watch the sunset. It's pretty windy now. We're starting to put all our layers on, and yeah, we're almost there. I can't believe we're literally on the skirt of an erupting volcano, but we can't see anything because of the cloud. We just went through the toughest hike of our life, and this is what we got now. At least we can hear the eruption very well from here.
We ended up giving up and going back without seeing the volcano. Now we have to return this deadly hike. I feel like I'm going to collapse.
We made it back safely and we were starving. Dinner was waiting for us at the campground, and also hot wine. The last part of the hike was this volcanic area. After passing the alpine area and camping there, we've now gone the majority of the volcanic area in a super slippery section, and now we're almost at the top. We made it! We're at the top of the summit with this beautiful sunrise. Ever wondered what the crater of a once active volcano would look like? Well, here it is. I'm at the crater of Acatenango. This is what the path going down looks like. I mean, also coming up. And now we. Oh, look at that! Wow. So this is what the route looks like. It's super slippery, super steep, and we're just kind of sliding down. This is our campground in the daylight. We were just flying this drone and taking group videos and photos, and that's where we were camping. We've just started our descent back to where we started, and here we're going through the alpine greenery.
Look at that beautiful view.
And here's a beautiful scene of Volcano Agua, and behind this route is Volcano Fuego, which we're gaining distance from. Look at this. I'm so glad we took this new path going back. So much new scenery to see. Definitely need to take a picture here. The road from Antigua to Lake Atitlan is not the most comfortable road to drive in. There's animals and people just jumping in the road and walking along the road. There's cars stopping for no reason and blocking the narrow two-way streets. And in general, it needs a lot of patience to get to Lake Atitlan. We just arrived at San Juan La Laguna, one of the many small towns around Lake Atitlan, and the one where our hotel was located. We immediately fell in love with this small town and the liveliness of it. We checked in at our hotel and came back for a walk through the streets and to have some street tacos. Here's the streets of San Juan from the top of a rooftop bar. This is where we're staying at, next to Lake Atitlan in San Juan. This beautiful hotel over here. We just got some massages, very cheap massages right by the lake. Now we're ready to go and spend the day exploring towns around the lake. There are several towns around Lake Atitlan, and the best way to get around is with the lanchas or the water taxis. Each town has its own lancha station where you can take a water taxi that goes to every town and moves around the lake. So we're going to start from San Juan La Laguna, which is where our hotel is. And our first stop is going to be San Marcos. And then from there, we're going to take a lancha to Panajachel. And then all the way back to San Pedro, which is the party town of Lake Atitlan. And then from there, we're going to have to take a tuk-tuk back to San Juan because the lanchas end operating at 7 p.m. And after 7 p.m., you can only take taxis and stuff. We're walking in the narrow streets of San Juan and experiencing the town. Whoa, watch out! San Juan is the first town in Lake Atitlan that we're passing through. We're in one of these mini taxis going to the port where we can take a boat taxi to San Pablo. These are the streets of San Juan. It was also very lively at last night. Now we've gotten off in San Marcos and we're walking towards the area where we can jump inside the lake and get a little bit of swimming experience in Lake Atitlan. San Marcos is one of the villages around the lake. It has a nice picnic and swimming area here with a lot of visitors, as you can see. And we're gonna go in the park and enjoy ourselves for a bit and keep moving to the next village. This is the view of Lake Atitlan from the Mayan altar in San Marcos. Excellent place for getting some nice videos of the village.
Go, go. Go, 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 go. Woo! Go, 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 go. Woo!
Now we've arrived at the Eagle's Nest in San Marcos. Here we hope to have some food and relax on top of the view. The Eagle's Nest was definitely one of the highlights of our trip. It has such a friendly and rustic atmosphere with such an amazing view. All the food here is vegetarian, but it's so damn delicious. We couldn't believe how tasty and amazing the food was when we had it. All with this amazing view of Lake Atitlan. There's a yoga club here as well. I can't imagine a better place in the world to have yoga sessions with this unbeatable view of Lake Atitlan. Look at this narrow street in San Marcos. We're going towards the lanchas, which are the boat taxis that are going to take us to Panajachel. Such a cute street. I don't know if there's anywhere else in the world where you can experience this, but for us, it's such a unique experience right now. Now we're getting on this water taxi called the lancha to go from San Marcos to Panajachel. Slowly climbing down to board it, getting ready for takeoff. We just got a brief chance to sit at the front of the boat for the last portion of the trip. We made it to Panajachel right at sunset and got a chance to stroll through the lovely streets of this relatively modernized town. This town has a lot of cute and fancy restaurants and is slightly different from the rest of the towns that we've seen so far. Here's our final destination, Lake Atitlan. This is San Pedro. It's the liveliest town around Lake Atitlan. If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more informative videos like this one.